Oh, kia ora. Sorry, Taurus. Taurus, this is your reading. These are really general intuitive tarot readings for this beautiful full moon in Sagittarius. So let's see what's happening. Do check out Venus, your ascendant, moon, Jupiter, if you know what they are in as well. Lovely Taurus. So let's see. Wow. Look, cycles ending and beginning all around the world, it seems. So first up, and we do go through as always and clarify, we've got the universe. This is the world. And the thing with the world is, sorry, I'll just adjust this, is that it does sort of say, maybe we've, to put it, this is the only way to really put it, is say, well, I've learned a particular lesson, and so I've learnt that. So we're into a whole new cycle. Queen of Cups as well here. The Queen of Cups is a wonderful self-sustaining queen. I mean, self-sustaining, excuse me, in the sense that, it's like part of the tidal flow. I always see the Queen, because there's a very reflective quality to the Queen. Like, it's like something can disappear at any point and reappear again. There's sort of something about that, like something just, the Queen disappears but then reappears just in a different spot. Like there's a shimmery quality to it, not an illusionary quality, even though in the Thoth deck there's many mirrors in here. But yeah, I don't know why I'm getting that so much, but there's an impersonal element also to this Queen of Cups Taurus, that because that is required in order to be like this sort of how would you put it? I'm a bit tongue-tied today. Self-sustaining, nurturing, sort of emotional love bomb, really. This is what that Queen is. Let's just see. So new cycles are afoot. Maybe we're understanding those qualities within ourselves a little bit more, Taurus, but we will go through, as I said, and clarify. Can we just get a couple more cards? Just, thank you. Okay. So we see lessons learnt. Interesting. We've got the Eon. We've got the Eon here. So we see judgment, basically. So they're two big kahunas, really. The universe and judgment, with that Queen in the middle. We're working it. I sort of see Taurus in a really, well, obviously in a fluid way, but kind of being able to, it's not what you see is what you get, is what I hear. What you see is what you get. That's very earthy, fixed Taurus. We're not dealing with a Taurus like this at the moment, Taurus. So maybe you're feeling, like your oeuvre, isn't it, has sort of extended itself. It's not, whatever it was is not the same. And how you've got to that point, well, I can only assume it's from some key things being learnt in recent months or years, it could be. It's sort of quite big. After that judgment card, because with judgment we see, it's as if we see everything all in one big kind of flash, like clip, like film run, like we see all of this as if it's a review, but it's not so much a review, it's that all things come back to one point at one point in time, at this point in time. It's finishing up something because you're beginning something new. Two of Discs. There's a process to it. This doesn't necessarily have to be very fast, because we can only, we know time isn't linear as such, is it? But as humans, we deal with time in a way that that we do, don't we? Because it's like a 24-hour clock. We deal with time in this sort of construct of time that we live in. But this is something else. This is a bigger cycle to me, in my mind, that has come to a point where it's shifting into a fresh new one, if that makes any sense. So we have the Two of Discs here, which is about keeping the balance in times of movement, in times of change. And there is no, what I meant to say to begin with this card is that there's no urgency here. You know that you're in between. You know that you're in between. And you know that at some point that balance will shift and move into whatever this new cycle is for you. That's what I'm getting for you, Taurus. So let's just go through and clarify. Let's have a look at this universe. It's a big one. Let's clarify. The universe for Taurus, please. You're wanting different things. We get the Five of Discs. I'll get one more card. Five of Discs will just say here, consummate lack mentality, or but I don't see it like that here. I see that you have understood where possibly you haven't stepped forward, or you've sort of been behind the door when they were giving out treats, or without being flippant about it, it's shifted. What you see as what you see that you require is you're not hesitant about seeking that, finding it, making choices based around that. You're not hesitant or shy about that anymore. This is part of the beginning of a new cycle, elements of that Five of Discs, because that can sort of just be a habit, and it can also indicate excuse me, your self-esteem, Queen of Cups. Maybe what you see, Taurus, as being one of your many strengths, but one of your main strengths at this current time is a wonderful is recognizing your emotional wealth. Like we talk of value, this is the second house, isn't it, in Taurus, in the astrological wheel, the idea of what we value. What was I saying? So Queen of Cups, you understand you've got a rich emotional wealth, or like to offer, like a legacy of sorts to offer. That, do you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting. Queen of Cups, we have the Seven of Cups, a card of many options and choices. How do we use this seven? Because the Seven of Cups is about assessing that. What choices do we make here? Because there are some things that can potentially maybe won't fly. Do you know? And there are some things that will. It's about our ascertainment of those seven cups and those things that lie within the many options that we have. We then get the Ten of Cups. I think this understanding of your own emotional, and I get the word legacy, your own emotional well, how deep that actually really is, and how you want to utilize it, express it out there to others. There's a shift in this. That is what your lesson, if for want of a better word, has sort of been over the last, it could be a very big cycle. I do get that. And this has been part of a transition and a transformation for you, Taurus. We let this go because it doesn't serve us anymore. We're not getting what we want. We let it go. We understand it. We understand how we use it, work with it, do it in our lives, and we let it go. We let it go. It brings us a richness in terms of our emotional body, our emotional selves. It also gives us more options. When I say more options, I mean also that it gives us more ability to accept that emotional gifts from others as well. You see what I mean here? This in itself is a transformation for you, Taurus. Let's have a look at Let's have a look at the Judgment card. This always happens. We get the Judgment card to clarify. The Judgment card. Let's just see if we can get another card. I think that sort of indicates, well, yes, it has been a big cycle. We have learnt that. Five of Discs. Sometimes it can take a long time to see how we do that to ourselves. Sometimes it's very difficult to override it. And sometimes that comes from the way that we were brought up, our values, what we have learnt from others, from family. We get the 10, another 10 here. 10 of Discs, all about that. We speak of legacy. We speak of we speak of legacy. It's not just in the tangible world. It's how we've, these ideals, values, etc., that we grew up with, that we learnt, our loyalties. This is base stuff. Base in the sense of, it's the fruit on the bough of that tree of life. It's here on the material plane, Malkut. It's in the physical world. We inherit. And of course, we enter when we're old enough or whatever, or we have our own family, all of that thing, that we pass that on. This is legacy, this is judgment, and this is somehow, Taurus, connected to that lack mentality of which you have surpassed, been sort of squashed by a little bit. I mean, it's not the right word, but it's kind of clear here in that sense. You've transformed that, and you've transformed that. You're taking all the good bits and you've synthesized them in this current point in your life, and you're expressing yourself in a more richer emotional way, is what I'm getting. I'm going on and on, but anyway, let's have a look at the Two of Discs, because there is a choice in the Two of Discs that this may well decisions moving forward, for want of a better expression, decisions moving forward could tip the, we're there's no rush, but the Two of Discs is called change in the Thoth deck, it's called change. And so there is a decision that will be made that does shift things. So interesting. So yeah, look, this emotional expression demands that we allow something to go. And that's exactly that. We've shed something, we've let go of something. Do you know what I mean? So we get the Four of Discs, very solid, very secure. But we also see here, we ask the question in this card, excuse my burnt finger, can we allow something just to go? We're holding everything real tight. And maybe that allows us, the letting go allows us to be able to receive a little bit more, as I was saying earlier. Anyway, then we go up to the Five, where this is the lesson, disappointment. It's just so like smack bang in your face, isn't it? The Five of Discs, the lack mentality, choosing to stay out in the cold, whether that's in a tangible sense or whether it's sort of in an emotional sense. I would believe that it has been in an emotional sense here. We get the Five of Cups. This is a card in perspective, a lesson in perspective. We have 2 full beautiful cups there, and 3, we're focused on those 3 that have lost. We've lost, it's never enough. There's a lesson here, lovely Taurus, and you've taken it on, you've shifted it and changed it. A lot of these readings today are about shifting your own energy and shifting habits and patterns. Like, I'm talking long patterns, maybe generational patterns of habit, of perspective, is what we see. Oh, there's a big bumblebee outside now. Let's get a Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy card. Just even couple. One would be fine. Let's see, we've got beautiful, Guardian at the Gate. You've been pushed through this, you've initiated it, but it is like feeling like you're kind of pushed through a birth canal of sorts to come out the other side. Guardian at the Gate. You don't know what's on that other side, but you're prepared for that journey. This is it, and you've done it. Within that, it strengthens this understanding of those fives in your life, understanding perspective, your depth of ability to express your emotions, what it's doing or what it's done, has strengthened all your connections. We've got a 6 Singer of Connection here. It's beautiful, not an enmeshed card. It's a wonderful connector. Like, they're firing. The crossover points, the connections are firing in such a new and almost explosive sort of Uranian kind of way. So it's beautiful. It enhances all your relationships in your life, not only your relationship with yourself, but your relationship with those around you and those that you deal with on a daily basis. So we'll get an art oracle card, but I've got a pretty simple deck of rocks and crystals because I do like rocks as much as the pretty crystals as well. Wonderful, Taurus. We get emerald, unconditional love. This is real sort of heart-based sort of colour, at least, emerald. Unconditional love, beauty, recovery, and healing past lives. Well, whatever way you want to look at it, we can take it to that point. But as I said, legacies, generational things overcome. Those that do not serve you have been overcome, and hence we enter into a whole new cycle. Now let's get the card with the art oracle. Let's get something juicy for Taurus for this full moon in Sagittarius. Let's see. Yeah. We've got, now everyone will know, Edvard Munch. We have the great famous Edvard in Scream, which was the painting, but it's got his little face on it instead of the screaming face. So we're looking at life, work, and inspiration here. A composed soul is not necessarily a calm one. Scream into a canvas, not a pillow. Yeah, well, that's good. Ask anxiety to pose for you. Beautiful, beautiful, Taurus. On that note, thank you for joining me, and really enjoy this wonderful full moon time in Sagittarius. Very expansive, hopeful and optimistic, to put it in simple terms, but enjoy. Ka kite, Taurus. Thanks for joining me today.